Hello everyone and welcome to Bucharest. So we've been here for a few days now and as you can see it's really cold. I think right now it's about 4 degrees and in about 1 hour's time.
2 degrees.
Yeah, I think it's 2 degrees, 4 degrees, and then in about an hour's time it's going to be about -2 degrees. So coming from New Zealand, this is a very cold weather for me. I'm guessing for Romanians this is nothing. It's freezing. So Bucharest is the capital of Romania and the population here is about 1.8 million. We're so excited to be here. It's a new country, new people. So far we're loving it. We're making our way to the old town right now. So Bucharest is actually considered the little Paris of the East because in between the period of the 2 world wars there was a lot of elegant architecture built around here. And babe, what was something you noticed about the language? You said that they sound really Portuguese and Spanish.
It's like Portuguese and Italian together.
Yeah. So the language, I think it derives from Latin. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a Romance language.
Yeah, it's a Romance language. Carlos, he speaks Portuguese and Spanish and a little bit of Italian and Latin, and he said that he can understand a lot of the language here, which is really awesome actually. So we're in the University Square right now, and you can see the architecture here is just lovely to look at. It's a very lively hour of the day. It's about 5:30 p.m. right now, so everyone's finishing work and the traffic's crazy. You've got the ambulances, people hopping on trams, you're at the metro. It's just a really cool time to be roaming around the city. One of the things we noticed here is that Romanians also speak really good English, or at least they know enough to have basic conversations with you. Of course, we don't expect people to speak English in each country we travel to, but it is always nice to know that we don't have to translate every interaction. The architecture here is really interesting because there's some buildings and they look really kind of Parisian/Roman looking, and then there's others and they give us kind of Ukraine/Poland vibes. So it's just really cool to look around, and it's almost the same as a lot of places we've been to, but in other ways it looks quite different. It's a Sunday here today and it's also the Great Union Day in Romania, which I think is sort of like an Independence Day for Romanians. So everything's actually closed today, which I guess works in our favour because we don't really like crowded places that much. It's a shame that we can't really see everything in its open state. Not long after filming this, I realised that many places were open. Of course there were major places like banks and some restaurants closed, etc., but there were a decent amount of places open considering that this was Romania's big public holiday. We're just walking down this passageway, I think it's called Passagul Villacros, and it's very beautiful. There's lots of cafes here and restaurants. It's very Christmassy looking with all the decorations, of course, because it's December. One thing we've noticed just from walking through the streets today is that there's a lot of graffiti on the walls. Whether you like graffiti or not, Bucharest has a big street art scene here, and I'm excited to see more of these hipster artworks during my walks around the city. Like most cities in Europe, there is an old town. We found the old town in Bucharest to be small yet interesting, as it holds quite a few tourist attractions such as historic buildings and churches. It feels quite safe here in Romania too, although there is the occasional street beggar, of course, like in many countries. We haven't noticed any pickpocketers, or we haven't been in any situations where we've felt we've been in danger or feared for our lives. And last night I was actually looking on the list of the safest countries to travel to in the world, and I think Romania was number 29, and then the United States of America was like number 49, so that just goes to show you how safe you will feel here in Bucharest. Wow, they also have Lime scooter here, so it's quite easy to get around town, and the roads are quite flat too.
Bus in the city, yes. Okay, perfect.
Carlos was just at the ticket counter over there looking at the prices of buses, and for one return ticket it is 420 lei. So I think that's quite affordable, but you can also buy a monthly pass and it's even more affordable than that.
70 leis.
Oh, 70 leis, yeah. 70 leis if you wanted to catch the public transport more often. And we just went to this bakery kind of savoury place.
Called the Luca.
Yeah, called Luca. This is the packaging. When we first got here we tried these. They're called Luca Pudanesque.
Whatever. Something like that. It's delicious.
So it looks like this, and it has like a deli meat, sort of looking like ham and cheese inside, but it's like really creamy cheese. It's so delicious.
Could you take a bite? Ooh, girl. How is it, baby?
So good. Look inside. Wow. My fingers were like frozen before I ate this as well. So it's the perfect thing to eat in this weather. I can't believe it's 1 degree right now. It's 1 degree.
This is the coldest we have been in
so cold. My toes
over 2
are,
years.
Like, numb. My toes are literally numb. Anyway.
Comfortably numb.
This is the perfect snack for winter.
And I got a cafe. Cafecito. Chihu.
It's December time here in Bucharest and it really feels like Christmas. There's so many lights every street that you go. Actually, they've even got the New Year's decorations out already, so it's like Christmas and New Year's decorations. They're very festive here. After much walking, we decided to use the local buses with our tickets we had just purchased. Google Maps are always handy and showed us what bus to catch. Once you're on the bus, all you need to do is validate your ticket if you pre-purchase them. The bus journey was very comfortable and it's an affordable alternative to using Uber and a much warmer alternative to walking, although Uber is reasonably priced here too. An average taxi ride from the airport to the city centre will cost you 10 to 15 US dollars. We preferred to use Uber as it tells you the exact amount needed to pay. We then made a quick pit stop at the convenience store. Wow, you know when it's an affordable country when the beer is...
Same price as the water.
Yeah, the same price as the water. So many beers.
This is a famous beer if you want.
Romania is certainly an affordable country to travel to within Europe. With beer this cheap, I think it will be hard not to drink. There are about 3 convenience stores in our neighbourhood and a few supermarkets to choose from too. Having drinkable tap water is something that we research in each country that we go to, and when we got to Bucharest that was one of the first things that we looked at. The reviews on TripAdvisor and other websites kind of seemed 50-50 on whether it was drinkable or not. Some people say that it is drinkable and some people don't. So what we found out in the end was that the water is chlorinated and also the pipe system in Bucharest is apparently old, so sometimes you can find traces of rust in the water. Depending on what you feel like to do, it seems like some travellers here think that it's okay to drink because they're only passing through, so it's not going to affect them in the long term, whereas the locals, it seems like they don't want to drink it because obviously they live here and they don't want that constantly going into their body. So we decided to get bottled water because I'm always the one who gets sick if there's something dirty. I just thought it's better to not take any risks and just drink the tap water. This is like 10 litres of water and I think it was 6 lays for this. Sort of an inconvenience for us because that means we have to use plastic every time we buy our water.
And we haven't found the water machines, the filters, like they have in Southeast Asia.
We're gonna try and look for something anyway, but that's just what we've noticed from our first week here.
In Ukraine also they had those machines in the street, right babe?
So the takeaways from this video is that Bucharest is really pretty. I really love the architecture here and it's affordable, the people are friendly, it's a safe place to travel to. And yeah, it's just an all-round nice place to be for Christmas and New Year's. And I'm looking forward to show you guys more of my travels here in Bucharest. So if you wanted to check out some of my other videos, make sure to click on my playlist above.